All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this village board meeting to order on Monday, June 3rd, 2024, and ask you if you would all please rise and join the village board in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Grasse, Trustee Tinaglia,
Here.
Trustee Shirley,
Here.
Trustee Bertucci,
Here.
Trustee LaBedz,
Here.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Here.
Trustee Dunnington,
Here.
Trustee Baldino,
Here.
President Hayes.
Here. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes, and we have three sets to approve tonight. The first is from our Committee of the Whole meeting from May 13, 2024. Any changes or passes? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Move approval of the committee of the whole meetings from May 13th, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Schwingbeck, seconded by Trustee Shirley. Any questions or comments from the board or the audience? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next are minutes from the Committee of the Whole meeting of May 20, 2024. Any changes or passes?
Pass.
Passed by Trustee Baldino.
I move,
Go ahead.
move approval of the committee of the whole minutes of May 20th, 2024.
Second?
Motion by Trustee LaBedz, second by Trustee Dunnington. Any questions or comments from the board or the audience? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And finally, our minutes from that same evening's village board meeting, May 20, 2024, passed again by Trustee Baldino. Any other questions or comments from the board? If not, is there a motion?
I move approval of the village board minutes of May 20, 2024.
Second.
Motion by Trustee LaBedz, seconded by Trustee Schwingbeck. Any questions or comments from the board or the audience? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we would then move on to the approval of accounts payable, and I call on Trustee Bertucci.
Mayor, I'll move approval of the warrant register for the check date 5/30/2024 in the amount of $2,362,604.74.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Bertucci, seconded by Trustee Baldino. Any questions or comments from the board or the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Bertucci,
Yes.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
Trustee Dunnington,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Shirley,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Moving on then to citizens to be heard, and this is an opportunity for individuals in the audience to address the board on items not on the agenda. And I have no blue cards, is that right, Becky?
That's correct.
Right. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the board on items not on the agenda? All right, seeing, please come forward if you would then. If you just give us your names if you would, and I just have to remind you of our 3-minute time limit.
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. My name is Anis.
My name
This
is
is my wife.
Lisa. Good afternoon, everybody. We're here tonight to voice our concern. We just recently moved to Arlington Heights, which we were very excited about. Our house is right next to the Rolling Green Country Club, and we have a road dividing us between our home and the country club. And we are a very outdoorsy family. We love to be outside, and it's just gotten very dangerous for us to be outside. We're concerned with the amount of balls that are coming into our house, especially because we have a 1-year-old. So we're scared that it's going to hit him. Those balls are very heavy, and they come flying into our yard. These are just some of the balls that we've collected the last 2 to 3 weeks. And we've spoken to the country club managers, and their response is that the members accidentally hit the balls over to our yard.
But actually, the hole is literally just, close by our house, and they keep falling every day. So it's very dangerous lately. We thought, once a while it's fine, but it's literally every single day, and we can't go out. Like, even in this beautiful weather today, we had to stay in the house. Like, we can see on the facade of our house, there's already 6-7 holes There's it hit our car. My dad and mom, they have to stay inside since they're older people, and it's dangerous even for them being out. So they don't want to give us answer. They don't want to work with us. They don't want to do nothing about it. So that's why we're here to talk to you guys, figure out something.
Okay, I know I did receive an email from you, and I appreciate that. And the village manager and I did talk about this situation last week. Just to clarify, you live right on the golf course, right?
It's divided by road, so
You're on the other side of a road?
yeah.
So your backyard, for example, is not actually on the golf course?
No, we're adjacent to the golf course, and the hole is right adjacent to our home. So they're shooting it towards our home, because the hole is right next to it. But it's next to a small road.
Yeah, it's a very small road that divides us, but we don't know what to do. So
There's
Right.
also no net on that side as well.
Right. Well, this is a difficult situation because, the village has no official jurisdiction. We don't own the golf course. We don't control it. It is a private business, and you guys are private homeowners, and so it is essentially a private dispute, as long as it doesn't raise significant public safety concerns. I understand your concern about the golf balls that are coming into your yard, and there's some pretty bad shots, I think, if they're getting all the way into your yard. And so I'm not quite familiar. I'd have to look exactly where you're at with respect to the golf course itself. But it's a difficult situation that we would suggest you try to resolve with the property owners and managers of Rolling Green Country Club. You did mention in your email that they have netting in some of the other areas.
yes, they do.
For the homeowners who live right on the golf course.
Yep.
This is a different situation that you're describing if you're across the street from them. So I'm not sure what solution they could come up with that might solve your problem. But they've been there for many, many years, and I'm sure this is not the first time this has come up.
Yes.
So you just moved there when?
3 months ago.
3 months ago.
Yeah.
Right. And unfortunately, you knew you were moving close to a golf course.
Yeah, but we
Yes.
never knew it's gonna,
Where
I
the-
thought there's probably some, safety people,
Measures.
because we can see them, like, they shooting from inside out, like, straight to our home. And I spoke to them, at least if they can move a hole somewhere else, or put a sign, or at least tell the members, don't shoot it this way or something, but they don't want to do nothing. Like, there's nothing. Like, I've been like 3-4 times, and I'm being polite and trying to talk to them, but nothing. Like, they, just refuse to do anything. And that's why we're here. If you guys can help us do anything, at least on our side, or
Guide us,
let us
anything.
build a fence, or I don't know, something.
Right. Mr. Ecklouse, I don't know if you have any suggestions at this point.
No, I would agree with you, Mayor, that there's nothing the village can do to legally impose a change. They are operating the golf course, within the bounds of their annexation agreement, which was done in 1999. We did take a look at it when the email came in this past week. But, one thing I'm happy to do is I'm happy to call representatives of the golf course and kind of express that we have those concerns, and this was something that was brought up at a board meeting, and see if there's any ideas they have. Sometimes a business owner will respond differently to a phone call from us than from a resident, and we're happy to share those concerns. But we do want to understand there's nothing we can do to compel them to change, just so we understand that. But we certainly can help, advocate for making sure that they're doing what they can to ensure the safety of the residents around them.
Right, and we'll take another look to see exactly where your home is with respect to, because I thought, just looking at your email, that you're right on the golf course, but that clarifies it a little bit, at least in my mind. Trustee Bertucci?
Thank you, Mayor. For Randy, for your purpose and also for your purposes, the Rolling Green Country Club is no longer member-owned. It's corporate-owned. It was owned by what I think it was called Club Corp. From my understanding, it's no longer owned by them. There's a new corporate owner recently, and you know, my thought is that the local manager or whatever is not going to give you much help. You're going to have to go to the corporation level probably, and certainly our village manager is very good with, you know, being able to talk. He might, between him and you, we might be able to get, but my guess, Randy, is we're going to have to go beyond the course
Sure,
management.
sure. We'll make an attempt and see how far we can get up the ladder.
Yeah, there you go. But it is a situation where, you know, you almost have to find some way to move them to that position, because they're going to say, you know, the golf course was there when you bought the place. But just for purposes so that later in another time I can look up your address. Would you mind giving me your address?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is your
1102 North Waterman,
Yes.
1102 North Waterman?
Yes.
right
Okay.
behind the hotel
Okay.
on Oakton and Waterman.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
And just give us your last name again for the record.
Sevapovic.
right.
Sevapovic.
Can you spell it for our clerk, please?
Yeah. Cevapovic.
Okay, you got that, Becky? Yes. All right. All right, thanks for
Awesome,
coming
awesome.
tonight.
So much. Thank
All
you.
right. All right, is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the board on items not on the agenda? Melissa?
Well, it looks like the website's down for some reason. Getting a gateway timeout, browser working, Cloudflare working, host error, vah.com host error. The web server reported a gateway timeout error.
Okay, thanks for letting us know. We'll check into it. Anyone else in the audience on items not on the agenda? All right. Seeing none, then I'm going to close the citizens to be heard portion of the agenda. There is no old business, and so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any members of the board who wish to remove an item on the consent agenda? Any members of the audience wish to remove an item on the consent agenda?
Melissa Kerr, consent legal E.
Consent legally, the ordinance amending the village code regarding the indemnification of village officials. Right? All right, that shall be removed. Anyone else in the audience wish to remove an item on the consent agenda? Seeing none. Are there any members of the board who wish to vote no or pass on any remaining items on the consent agenda? Trustee Tinaglia.
Mayor Hayes, I need to pass on consent legal A, B, C, and D, please.
Okay, that shall be noted. Anybody else? Vote no or pass? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the remaining items with the pass by trustees Tinaglia?
I move approval of the remaining items on the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by trustee LaBedz, seconded by trustee Grasse. Roll call?
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Grasse?
Yes.
Trustee Dunnington?
Yes.
Trustee Baldino?
Yes.
Trustee Shirley?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Bertucci?
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Yes.
President Hayes?
Yes. There is no new business, so we'll move to legal and take up the item that was just removed. Mr. Recklouse, you want to tell us about that one?
Sure, this is, just codifies a longstanding practice where if for all of the village's officials and officers appointed, elected, et cetera, that it's clear that they are protected and indemnified, the village will indemnify them if they're sued for something they did while they were acting within the law. If they do something where they're operating outside of their legal authority, then that's a different story. But if they're just merely engaging in their own, in doing their job, the village will indemnify them and defend them in court for what they've done.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the board on this? Melissa, do you have any other questions?
What does indemnify mean?
Well, that's a legal term. That means the village will cover their costs, basically, if any judgment is rendered against them or their legal fees. So the village will indemnify, make them whole, basically.
Okay.
Any further questions or comments on this one? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
by trustee Shirley, seconded by trustee LaBedz. Any further questions or comments from the audience or the board? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Shirley?
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Bertucci?
Yes.
Trustee Grasse?
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Yes.
Trustee Dunnington?
Yes.
Trustee Baldino?
Yes.
President Hayes?
Yes. There is no other legal items, so we'll move on to the report of the village manager. Mr. Eckloff, anything?
Nothing to report this evening.
Okay. Anything under petitions and communications from the board? Seeing none, if nothing further, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
By trustee Baldino, seconded by trustee Tinaglia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all for joining us this evening.